Hello and welcome to this episode of No Blasters with me, Kieran Bartlett. You're all very welcome. Today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com. As you know, Manscaped are the world's leading company when it comes to male below-the-waist groomage. I love my ball deodorant, as you know, but I have more things to talk to you about today. Manscaped have just launched the Platinum Package 4.0, which includes all the classic stuff that I talk about: your ball deodorant, your crop mop, ball wipes. It also has actual deodorant, which doesn't have aluminum, which presumably means it's better for your skin and the environment. And also it has a nice cologne type smell off it. It's a good old timey. You smell like your granda in a good way. And fuck's sake. It also has obviously the weed whacker for your nose and ear hair. It has the Lawnmower 4.0, which is great for skimming off hairs all over your body. Should be bald from the eyebrows down, lads, all right, these days, unless you're rocking a beard like mine. But if you are rocking a beard like mine, you find that every time you move, it snows on your t-shirt. Use Manscaped.com's 2-in-1 conditioner and shampoo, which is great times. Also, if you go over to Manscaped.com and use the code NOBLASTERS, you get 20% off and free delivery. That's 20% off and free delivery with the code NOBLASTERS. And also go to manscaped.com/NOBLASTERS and you get the same deal. So possibly not that though, according to Dan. So maybe just go to manscaped.com, use the code NOBLASTERS. And that's the Platinum Package 4.0. A lot of people want gold in their lives. You know I do. I'm the Goblin King. I love to collect coins. But why have gold when you can have platinum? Please go over to manscaped.com and spend all your hard-earned money today. You will get 20% off with the code NOBLASTERS. Free delivery. Good times. Today's episode also sponsored by NordVPN.com, which is the premier VPN service. If you're not sure what a VPN service is, it's basically if you want added security or for geo geo restrictions to be lifted when you're surfing the web like it's 1998. Boom, 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 ba. Yeah, good times. Do you know what's a good noise? Do you remember the old Windows noise when it would do like a fail and it would just go nah? I enjoy that. Ba-doom. So yeah, go over to NordVPN. Use the code NOBLASTERS. You will get a lot of discount there. You will get a free gift. You can use NordVPN across 6 devices once you sign up. Basically, you can click on, just one click, activates NordVPN for you, and then you can watch American Netflix if that's what you want to do with your time. I'm sure you can watch other class stuff on the internet. There's always good things around, whatever. So go over to NordVPN, use the code NOBLASTERS, and you'll get 20%. You get massive discounts, and you get free gift. And I think that's us good. Is there anything else, Dan?
NordVPN.com/NoBlasters.
NordVPN.com/NoBlasters. That's where you can pick up this excellent deal. It's very good if you need added security. You know, you just don't want people to know what you're looking at online. Maybe you're in a hotel, you don't want anybody to know what you're watching. Right? Maybe you're in your ma's house, you don't want her to know what you're watching. Maybe you have a scary partner that you live with and you don't want them to know what you're watching. NordVPN.com/NoBlasters. The link is in the description below. Thank you very much. Today's guest is none other than Irish comedy legend. Irish comedy giant?
No,
Irish comedy hero. Good guy. All-round good guy.
Good man.
Good man.
I'm a good man.
Michael Rice.
That's the best you could say about me.
Do people give you this? Do they give you rice-icle or the rice pudding? Or?
Yeah, rice pudding, chicken fried rice. I feel like chicken tonight. People used to sing that to me a lot. Yeah. I feel like chicken tonight, which was a catchy tune.
Basic Sauce.
Yeah.
It was a great jingle, Basic Sauce.
Basic Sauce, yeah. They leaned on the jingle a lot. But, there was a lot of rice-based humour when I was growing up. Yeah.
When you're growing up, but not now. Am I a dick for bringing this up?
I wouldn't say a dick, but you're not covering yourself in glory either, you know what I mean?
Are you anything to Damien Rice? Do people ask you that?
Yeah, people do ask me that, and I say, "Oh, I think we might be like distantly related." But
Are you?
No. Do you know who I am related to? Is fucking
Rice?
no, not Declan, not that cunt. Am I allowed to? You're allowed to curse in this, aren't you? But no, Edmund Ignatius Rice, who started the Christian
Saint?
Brothers. Yeah.
The Saint?
That's right.
You're related to Edmund Rice.
There you go now. Stick that in your pipe.
Our first Saint relative on No Blasters.
Thank you.
That's mental. I'm not related to any saints. I mean, some people would say my ma's a saint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not yet. She hasn't been canonized officially. That's an official... He's an official... There's schools named after a cunt.
Well, it's the Christian Brothers, lad.
Yeah.
That he started the Christian Brothers.
There's one up the fucking road. Glengormley. Edmund Rice.
Yeah.
I don't know where all the Catholic schools are, guys. Chloe's from up that way.
You have a little map.
Like she used to live across the road from it.
Yeah. So he started that. But really, like, if you look at it, there's a lot of horrible stories with Christian Brothers. So you could say I'm related to a lot. I'm connected to a lot of diddling. You
could be connected to a lot of diddling, but I prefer to say you're related to a saint. Henceforth, sort of vaguely in there with the church. Maybe you'll get some marble or coins out of it someday. Well, you know what I mean? Maybe.
So I don't.
I'll stay in with you.
Yeah, I don't know if he got made. So he was on that list. There's a little list where you're like, kind of like you're in waiting. I think it's like, you know, when you're like.
Has he not been made?
I don't think he got made a saint yet, but like he's like in that period where they're like, we're reviewing it, and we're gonna make you saint.
Do you know? Sometimes you have to wait for a good 50 or 100 years for that bit.
Yeah.
But occasionally, if you were involved in, say, something like the Christian Brothers, and the Christian Brothers made like a big donation to the Vatican, you can actually fast. I mean, this is true. Yeah. The Vatican can fast track your saintliness. You can get that. Is Edmund Rice a saint? That's a good Google.
Look it up.
Feel free to write that in and then immediately delete it from your search history. What?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
There we go. So that's very interesting to me. Yeah, because I was reading about this recently about that process for some research that I'm doing, and not for comedy. And yeah, I wonder are people ready to get into the beatification process? As I'll just do a tight five. No, yeah. So like you can get you get like beatified, and that means you're like blessed, the blessed Patrick or the blessed Edmund Rice, and then if you're then you become canonized, and that's you're getting the fucking that's the big leagues, like that's Premier League, like.
Yeah, I think they have to.
They'll do death cards and all with you on it.
Yeah, I think they have to prove that you did a miracle.
Yeah, I think.
You know,
I think you're supposed to have done. You're supposed to have done a miracle, but like some people, I mean, these days they'll say, "Oh, it was a miracle he lived past 50, being from fucking Ballymun." Like, you know what I mean? So you're going, what's a miracle? Like, you know what I mean? It used to be, a miracle used to be, you know, the feeding of the 5,000, or here, this cunt was dead, now he's not, right? And that's like, does that mean, see every time somebody does the fucking, what do you call it, a defib, would that qualify as a miracle?
Well, I think, like,
you're actually technically dead and you're bringing them back to life.
I think, yeah, but I think if those lads from back then, you know, if they saw technology now, they think everything that's going on is a miracle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Miracle.
Miracle.
I've just sent a message. I've bilocated. I'm doing Zoom. I'm in Belfast, but I'm also at a meeting in London. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Miracle. You're supposed, because bilocation apparently was that's considered like the mark of a saint.
Yeah.
Someone that can be in two places at once. And like, I don't know. I have sometimes been in Raffles and also Mason's, the sandwich shop next door, at once. I did it yesterday.
But I think from their point of view, like, we're all wizards now, and our phones are our wands. Yeah. But we're all.
Could you imagine? I've often thought about this. I've often thought, imagine going back in time to like ancient Rome and like being in the Colosseum with a phone out filming it.
Yeah.
What would people make of that? Like, I wonder, would you be held up as some sort of god, or would you be put to death as like a freak?
I think they'd kick you down the steps into the Colosseum and have a lion.
Imagine the shots you'd get though. Yeah. Imagine you'd be getting right there for those Tarantino angles, like getting right. That's funny, mate. So what's the crack then, comedy wise? I saw you. We met in Edinburgh. You were killing it. You were doing 2 fucking shows in Edinburgh. You mad cunt.
Well, I was doing 3, so I had 3 shows.
3?
Yes.
Mate.
Yeah.
Were you?
Well, I was, yeah, but I didn't like intend on doing 3. So what happened was I got offered a spot and I took that spot, and then I got offered another spot and that was good. So I was like, oh fuck it, sure, I'll do 2, and I'll do 1 show that's good, and I'll do the other show I'll do a shit show for that. Well, like I wasn't calling it. I didn't advertise it as a shit show, you know, but like a work in progress show. So I'll do 2, and then one of my friends is doing a split show with a fella, and the fella's mother died.
Oh, right, okay.
So then he said, "Do you want to do the split show as well?" And so I said, "Yeah, I will, yeah," because I'm just hungry for the money as well. Yeah, and just the idea of like doing Edinburgh and like, geez, maybe I could actually make money and not be just leaving like a miserable pauper, like you know. Yeah, so I did the 3 shows.
Did it go well?
Do you know what? It did go well, and it was fun and stuff. Now I was exhausted. There was periods of deep mental illness, especially towards like the last week. I got like a real sucky calf on the whiskey. Like I was at this like spot.
Hold on, what did you just say there?
A sucky calf.
A sucky calf on the whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm going. Are you on ayahuasca right now? I don't know what you're.
Well,
what does that mean? You had a desperate truth for whiskey. Is that what you're saying?
So do you know what? See, I grew up on a dairy farm, so a lot of my lingo now will be agriculture based, and we're going to need to accept that.
I grew up near the dairy farm, which is just like a big rotten shopping centre out near Twinbrook. Go on ahead, son.
So a sucky calf. I don't know if you know much about calves, lads, but so if you go up to a little calf now, and you put your hand out,
right,
and they'll come up and they'll go,
and they'll
suck on it, and it feels a bit too nice. Do you know what I mean? Like honestly, like it's like low because it's like warm and wet. Anyway, whatever. But they're like sucking like that. But sometimes I feel like I'm like that with whiskey and stuff. Like I'm just like a little, and I've gotten very fond of whiskey. You see.
What type? Is there a specific brand?
Jameson. I like Jameson, which is very basic. Like I'm being a basic bitch of it. I'm a bit of a dustbin of a man. You know what I mean? Like, do you know the way?
I've been compared to a bin before, but normally around food. To be fair.
Yeah. I am a bit, as in like I have no. I could eat like a steak that's like, you know, or you're like, oh, we flew this in from Chile and it was from the best cow in Chile's arse, and oh, look at this, and I seasoned it with fucking angel cum or whatever, and I'd eat that and I'd be, oh, that's lovely, and then I'd have a bowl of Weetabix and I'd be like, that's nice too. Do you know what I mean?
But with whiskey, it's more of there's many subtle grades, or...
Well, people tell me that. If I'm honest about it, I was going to start lying there and be like, oh, I like this. It's just like, I just like whiskey. And I've started drinking it neat. So like with no mixer or anything. And it feels...
Not even ice in it, like, just room temperature whiskey, like.
Do you know what? I was getting ice in it, and then I was beside an owl lad there one day, and he started frowning at me. This is in Kilkenny, where I'm from, in this country pub. And he's like, what the fuck you having ice in that for? And I was like, oh, sorry, I won't do that again then.
Yeah, weird.
And genuinely, yeah. And then ever since, so now I just have it neat.
Do you ever see when a barman, when you ask for like a nice whiskey, and you say like on the rocks or with ice? I mean, if you say on the rocks, have a wee drink of it and drive home. But also like, can I have ice in that? And sometimes they're like, oh, like you've offended this guy who's on fucking £7 an hour. I'm like, mate, you fucking do for me. Yeah. I'm drinking it. Or it's like when you order a steak. I went right. So when I was over in Liverpool there, we went to this restaurant called Cowshed. Yeah, it was fucking banging, by the way. But like we went down and they didn't have any tables, and they actually said to us, sorry. And then I think me and Chloe literally went outside, and we were standing there looking at each other with such hurt on our faces that they came out and went, we can squeeze you in now if you can give us the table back in like an hour. We were like, done, right?
Easy,
So fucking went in. Oh, mate, the food was unbelievable.
Cowshed,
yeah.
Oh, I'd like that now.
Just down the hill from Hot Water, right?
Oh, the sucky calves in there.
Oh, mate, it was a sucky calf indeed whenever they brought out the pepper sauce, right? I was like, lad, mainline this. It was fucking unbelievable, right? Yeah. And I can't remember why I started talking. Yes, whenever I ordered the steak, I was just like thinking about the mushrooms. Or whenever I ordered the steak, I actually felt bad because I don't like rare meat. I don't want to see that. I don't want blood on my plate.
Oh, I love it.
I hate that. So I'm like, you know, and they've recommended how to have this thing cooked, and they're all medium rare or rare, and I'm going. And she goes, "How do you want your steak?" And I was like, "Is it okay to get like medium well?" She was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I'm like, "Thank you." See, when you go to a place and you go, "Can I have this but medium well?" And they're like, "Sir, I'd really advise you. Don't advise me. Don't advise me. Advising me means you're not getting a fucking tip.
Yeah.
All right? Just fucking do what I want."
Also, maybe if I was 5 years old, advise me. But do you think I've gone this far in life without knowing what I fucking want? You flute.
I hate when they get on as if it's like a waste of the steak. I'm like, no, I'm going to eat it. It's not I'm coming here for food. It's fucking
I hate
winds
that.
me up.
I've got it in as well because I've gone times now where I thought to myself, now I'm too much of a sucky calf and I need to go off the drink, right? And I go into a place and I remember I was in Dublin and I ordered a Coke and the barman just goes, what's going on? Are you driving or something? And I was like, I'll drive a hammer into your fucking nose. What business is of yours? You're selling Coke, aren't you? Is it there for the crack? Just give me the drink, you spoon.
I hate that because I don't drink. So whenever I ask for like sparkling water, people are like, I'm like, will you fuck up? I'm here, aren't I? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know when it happens the most? At gigs, people assume because I'm a comedian or because I'm gigging, he must love a pint. And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
I used to. I don't now. And I say that as if I say that as if like I loved it too much and now I don't. I didn't. I just don't. I can't be fucked with hangovers. So I don't drink. It fucks me.
Yeah, they're a misery. But it is. I think it's the lowest. It's kind of like the lowest form of banter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just pathetic.
Yeah. See, when people say like sarcasm's the lowest form of wit, my immediate reaction is, no, it isn't. Giving me shit about not drinking.
That's
fuck yourself.
Because it's so easy and unoriginal.
Do you know what I think? One of the lowest. This is the two lowest jokes you can do in this part of the country is a Derry Londonderry joke, and then also like, oh, Derry, where's that? What? That's one. Yeah. My other most hated one is, people like see a comedian and go, "See, if you want to see a real joker, you should go to Stormont. That's where real jokers are. The fucking DUP shit they're real jokers, what?"
Yeah. Just spit in their face.
And I'm like, I just feel like shitting on their fucking pillows.
Yeah.
Anyway,
coming in their ear like.
Tell me about this whiskey issue then. So you were flat out on it in Edinburgh at one stage?
Jesus, the last week or so now, I just caved in because I went in there with all this discipline in mind. I was like, whoa, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go for a run and I'm gonna eat grass and I'm gonna be like a cow and I'm gonna be healthy and productive and blah blah blah. And then just after a while you're just exhausted and you get a couple of bombs under your belt. And I had a lady at one show, this drove me to the drink now. I was in and there was this one and she was hanging around the bar that I was doing the show in, the Waverley, right? She'd be hanging around there like an old bad smell. And she keeps saying to me, I'm going to come to your show one of the days. And I'm like, are you? Brilliant. Can't wait for that now. And she just goes, you better be funny. And I was like, you better get out of my face or I'll nut you. So anyway, she was just all this yap, right? So anyway, she comes up to the show one of the days and she brings her out. She was an old pisshead now and she'd be down to Waverley all the time. And she'd be with this fella, Kev, now. And he's like,
my brother.
Yeah, your brother, Kev Bartlett. Yeah. Real piece of work. But, all the Bartletts. But, so anyway, this fella, Kev, now, he'd be into Waverley and he'd be pissed every night. And listen, she'd get up on a rusty nail. So she was she'd see Kev there now and she'd be, oh, you all right, Kev? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm all right, yeah. And they'd be slobbering all over each other. Anyway, they're like fucking, just retarded Sid and Nancy or something. So anyway, they come up to the show and they're at the show. I do my opening joke and I'd been in Belfast the night before for this BBC New Comedy Awards thing. Hadn't slept much. This is my third show today. I was just tired. And I started into the show anyway. And she just goes, you sound like a fucking leprechaun. And I was just... And I didn't even have the energy to deal with it with any... Yeah. You don't deserve any wit or charm from me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
To try deal with you in a funny way.
Yeah.
I just turned to her and I was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Are you actually being racist? Like, is this like 1975? I hate that. I hate whenever someone puts you in a position where you go,
I don't even have clever for you. I hate that. You just go, fuck up.
No, but you don't deserve me to be like, I'm going to deal with this in a way. Yeah. It's like, no, absolutely not. So I goes, what? And whatever, blah, blah, blah. I says, look, give over. Anyway, I was just like, right, I'll just go on with the show. Anyway, keeps shouting out things, blah, blah, blah. And she was there with this, with your man, Kev. Then your man, Kev, just leaves. He just leaves the show. Just gets up and leaves in front of everyone like an ignoramus. She stays there, and she's this little owl one with her. And the owl one's she's a nasty piece of work as well. She's whispering to your one. And they're just chatting. And I just stopped the show, and I just goes, listen. I goes, will you just go down to the bar there and go, suck on a raw gin. I know you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, go down, like, And she just goes, oh, just get on with it, will you? She just like, get on with it. And then I just had to say, I said, listen, I'm not saying another word till you get out. And I just sat down and just waited for her. And she said, are you serious? I was like, I've never been more serious about anything in my whole life. Out now. Yeah. And then I had to do the rest of the show. And sure, the show then is in tatters.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Because I've absolutely poisoned. I've absolutely just Hiroshima the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like just radiation everywhere. Like I can't even pretend now like I'm a happy-go-lucky fella.
I know. Mate, I did something similar, slightly similar. I definitely nuked the fucking room for a minute with at the Best of Irish.
Yeah.
Where these ones have been given off to all the other comedians and slabbering at them. And I didn't know that though, because I was sitting at the back, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
But a couple of people said, there's a couple of ball bags out there and whatever. When I went out, I have a joke about Olivia Newton-John. I did that joke, and they that was it. And I hadn't given them any attention whatsoever. And the man just gets up straight into my face, gives me a finger, and she starts fucking giving off. And like, I go, are you tapping out? And they were leaving, right? And as they were leaving, I shouted after them, being like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Fuck yourself. I love this. I love when you walk out, right? And maybe I shouldn't have shouted after them, but then they slammed the door. And I was like, fuck these, right? And I know I was too overzealous in my joy that they were leaving. And I think I nuked a few people with that. But I think other people came up to me after and were like, that was great. Yeah. But like, Chloe and other comedians that were like, mate, fuck up a bit, like, you know what I mean?
Well, see, if people can feel bitterness in you, if they can actually feel the bile coming out of you in your soul.
Do you know what's so difficult about that? Yeah. For me, I am a bitter man.
Yeah, nasty character.
That's it,
A lot of bile.
Yeah, mate, it's all bile.
But the fact that they're walking out over, like, 1982's Olivia Newton-John.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
I know, man. That's exactly...
Like, it's insane.
Yeah, like, it was...
They just went up under headphones and let's get physical. Like.
I know. It was absolutely mental. I was going... It's a joke, like. It's a fucking joke.
Like, what's funny, like, to think about these people, like, just the whole day, they just been, like, grieving over her death. And just, we'll just go to some comedy. We'll just try to get over it, and we'll just try to laugh.
In fairness to them, the only thing I would say is that she was probably still fucking warm when I made this joke. Like, it was literally, I think, like, a day after, 2 days later. But I'm going... Even then, fuck up. Like, it's clear. It's clearly a joke. Like, do you know what I mean? And mate, I enjoyed Edinburgh though. This is my first time sort of being there for like a number of days. Like, I'd only gone over and done it like 1 or 2 days before, and just did comps. But like going over and doing the show with Colin and Aaron and all was good crack. Like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a circus. You know, it is a real circus, and there's a festival element of it. As a comedian, like. It's, you got real heaven and hell there, because, like, you got all these shows, you've got so much, like, opportunity for stage time, all your friends are around, all these other comedians around, you can go see great shows, but then on top of that, you'll be exhausted, you're just shoving battered sausage.
You're eating shite food.
Battered haggis up your fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
I
also stopped eating through my mouth. I was just sticking bagels down my dick. I was just jamming battered haggis up my arsehole.
just in public as well. But I don't know if you remember, there was that strike, the bin strike. So just rubbish on the floor everywhere. It was a fucking apocalyptic. Like, it was a bit of fun.
There's one that's happening out in my street at the minute. There's a bin strike out in Lisburn.
There was something I found a bit fun about it. I just found just the apocalyptic nature of like, oh, society is crumbling. And it's just like, oh, sure, anything goes now. Like, can lick piss off the floor. Like,
you're standing on the flyers to a comedy show. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy that certain things, like the Tories can absolutely arsefuck the country, but comedy continues. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. And just the little pathetic heads on us flying as well. Like, just like, just Irish comedy, you know, and like they're looking at you like, can you not see? It's over. The civilized world is over. Yeah,
there's rats handing out flyers to other rats about a fucking bin bag that's bust around the corner. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I fucking loved it though. Where were you staying? Vaguely, I don't know loads about Edinburgh, but I know where we were.
I was staying in a spot, Queen Margaret's University. It was a bit.
Oh right.
It was a bit outside the town, which was actually grand because you got away from the whole thing. So you kind of had your own little space. And it was cheap enough as well.
What was the best thing you saw, comedy wise? Obviously.
Oh, I have to think. I think my favorite show that I saw was a fella called Christopher MacArthur Boyd. Yeah, a Glasgow
He follows
comedian.
me. I follow him. We follow each other. That's what I should have said. He follows me. I follow him. We follow each other.
I love that. As soon as I mention it, he follows me actually. So.
Just flexing.
Just mutual respect. Artists mutually respecting each other. That's all. He's a fan of the pod. Whatever, I don't care. But I thought his show was class. To be honest, I saw fuck all shows because I was doing 3 shows a day.
Yeah.
And on my day off, I went and saw a load. But
did you just have one day off in the fucking middle of all that?
Yeah, I had one day off in the middle.
Jesus Christ.
And that was it, yeah. So, and that was why the owl, being an old sucky calf on the whiskey was a real recipe for fucking misery, you know, because I'd be coming in then the next day, fucking black eyes on me, you know, just chewing on a wasp. And
I used to find, like, if I had to do anything on a day... Do you know what's mental about me, mate? I would say I'm a good planner. I'm good at time management, right? And so, like... Whenever when I would have been drinking, I would have definitely made sure I had nothing on the next day and possibly for 2 days. Yeah. Like nothing. Like, and I don't mean like I made sure I had no clothes. I mean I made sure I had no plans.
Yeah.
And I do this, do you know, my life I do this now if I know I'm gonna eat Indian food or if I'm gonna eat anything spicy. I'll make sure I have nothing on the next day because I might well just spend the morning shouting my brains out. So, and I can't do that in a public toilet.
I do. I like that. I like that you're just a shitting day.
Yeah, just I'm committing to like the hours of 8 to 12 in the bog.
Yeah,
like I'm just committing to it.
Lad, I tell you, and I like a bit of spice myself, but I've had some shits recently that felt genuinely like the pain of this, like the red hot sting coming out my arsehole, and I'm sweating, and I'm like, is there anything worth this? Like, because it felt like, I know women won't like me saying that it's comparable to childbirth, but it felt.
But here, I'll say this: one thing a childbirth probably doesn't have is a chilly sting on it. Like, you know what I mean? Unless when Sting's ma gave birth, like, you know what I mean? That's why they call them it. I don't know. Have you ever done a shit that's like actually giving birth to Sting? You know, it's just so dry but also warm and lovely. Do you know what I mean? It's just Sting coming out of your asshole going.
Sending out an SOS.
Yeah. You know, I love a bit of Sting. I shouldn't talk about him. I'm not allowed to talk about Sting on this podcast anymore.
You've had emails. You've had people say,
I talk about him too much.
Over.
I had somebody say to me, give over the other day because I cornered them and was talking about Sting's music.
You just wouldn't let them.
He has a musical called The Last Ship, and I didn't realize I was doing it. Yeah. And this guy went, do you know you've been talking about Sting's musical for about 15 minutes? And I don't give a fuck. And I was like, I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm a dick like that. If I love something.
I'd like to hear about Sting's musical, not now. But we don't want to get you fired up.
I can't really do it right without a latte in my hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, like I like when people, if someone's passionate about anything, I'm fine to listen to him talk about it, because most people are just fucking, just dead behind
Just
the
grey,
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever it was, because the reason why I came up was because when we were in Newcastle,
Yeah.
I was saying to the crowd, I don't really know anything about Newcastle apart from Alan Shearer, fucking PJ and Duncan, and Sting. Like, that's all I know about this town. And I said something about, but I do love Sting's musical, and some people just looked at me and I went, Sting's musical, The Last Ship, and they're all like, I went, it's about this fucking town. It's about a street over there, and they're all like, and I'm going, see if fucking Van Morrison or somebody like a big musical export from Belfast wrote a fucking musical about like the docks here.
Mm-hmm.
Every cunt in this town would be at it. Everyone would know, and even if they didn't go to it, they would know it was on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm going, this is fucking, oh mate.
Yeah.
See, arriving in Newcastle, by the way, at 2 a.m. in the morning, scary. Like, actually scary. It was like a fucking war zone, and it was just, they were just trying to get chips, but it was like literally like war. It was fucking nuts.
I'm loving
It's
that.
a crazy town. Like,
I'm
but
loving
lovely
it has genuinely upset you, the ambivalence of Newcastle people
towards their
Sting.
own. Yeah, towards their own.
It
like,
disgusts you.
yeah, it
makes
does
you
disgust
fucking
me.
sick.
I get it though, because I get that Sting is like, he's
He's a
tried to-
bollocks,
he's
isn't
tri-
he?
He's I always describe him as the wanker's wanker. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? He's
a
tried.
connoisseur's wanker, like
Yeah.
a sommelier of wankers would sniff
Yeah.
Sting and be like, "This is actually."
Be like,
yeah.
you know, undertones of the working class, but also the middle class. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his genitals smell like croissants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he loves it.
Coconut. He'd have that. He'd be putting coconut butter on his balls.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
He's a, or here,
he'd be putting pesto up his arse. kind of
Manscaped
thing.
ball deodorant, perhaps.
Yeah.
Manscaped.com/no blasters. That doesn't even exist. Use the code no blasters.
Promo code.
And promo code no blasters.
coconut butter on your balls.
20% off. Smell like Sting. Anyway, so like, it's fucking mental, because like,
Have your stinger smell like Sting. That's right.
I love him, right?
Yeah.
But there's a phenomenon in my life. Definitely, I've been talking about this in stand up a wee bit, so I don't want to talk too much about it now.
Yeah.
But like, there's a phenomenon in my life where there's things that I really like that I know are a bit wanky or a bit avant-garde, shall we say.
You're a
And
sophisticated
I know,
man.
yeah,
Be proud
but,
of that.
but I love these things.
Yeah.
But I hate other people that like them.
Yeah.
So like, I hate other people that like my favorite bands. I hate people that like Sting, and I hate people that like Meshuggah and things like that, because I'm just like, I don't like you, but I love
Right.
this band.
So if I liked Sting now, that'd make you soft now.
No, because
well.
we get on we get on well, because we have shared experience of comedy and all,
Yes.
and it's good crack.
Right.
So I think that would be funny.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was somebody I didn't know and they came over and started going, "Have you heard Sting's musical?" Apart from me wanting to go, "Yes, I have," I'd probably not like him.
Yeah.
I don't like the look of people that go to his gigs. They're always people that wear suits to a concert. Fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, people go out too well dressed. These things.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that now, wearing a suit to a concert.
You know what I
That's
mean? A
your-
dinner jacket to a fucking gig. I'm like, will you fuck up?
Yeah, yeah,
You see them occasionally in comedy clubs too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
unless you're doing one-liner comedy, there's no need for your suit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I hate
Stop
that.
trying to be a star, you cunt.
Yeah, yeah.
I
hate
see
that.
what you're doing.
Yeah, I hate that.
Dress for the job you want, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, I'm talking about audience members though.
Yeah, yeah.
Audience members dress like that and going, "Are you doing 10 tonight?" Because if you're not, fuck up. Like, stick a track bottoms on.
I think what they've done is they've read this book, The Game. About tricking ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Into liking them.
That's. Do you know what? That's
So it's either wear
that's
a
what the
suit,
blurb on the back of that book should have said. It
Yeah.
just should have said, "This book is about tricking
ones. Tricking ones.
I remember.
Have you
that
ever
book.
wanted to trick a one?
I don't
Read
think so.
this.
Oh,
Read
yeah.
this, you
Yeah.
desperate bastard.
It's a game. It's not real life.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone behind you's crying their eyes out because you've hurt their feelings because you've just nagged them so hard. Yeah, I remember. I remember when that book was huge, and then I remember the big backlash against it about 2 years later.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
The same guy though. Is it Neil
Strauss?
Yeah. He wrote. I think he
Jesus,
mentions
as I
this
call
in that book. He wrote the Motley Crue tour diary.
Yeah.
And it's wild. Like it's one of those books that I read it and immediately put it in, like, you put it just in a bottom drawer and just
Yeah.
leave it there forever and never look at it. Scary book.
It scared you.
Oh, it's all It's madness. Like, it's madness.
Sure, they were dancing with the devil, them lads, weren't
mate,
they?
they love it. They love it. Like,
They wouldn't have seen the inside of a church in a while, I'd say.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say.
Oh, no. They would have set on fire.
Do you know
Tommy Lee, sure, Jesus Christ.
Did you watch that show? Did you watch that?
Biting heads off of
Was
bats
that on
and
fucking Disney? Was it the Pam and Tommy? Was that on Disney? No less. Disney Plus had this guy's fucking dick look up at him and talk, and I'm like, Disney, what?
His dick
Is
Tommy's flute. I've seen Tommy's flute.
His dick. It's a weapon. His dick literally looks up at you in the middle, like looks up at him in the middle of the middle of the show and speaks back to him. He has a conversation with his dick, and his dick talks.
His dick became sentient at some point.
Yeah, and it's
Right.
like you're sort of sitting there going, "This is on fucking Disney. What happened to A Whole New World? Like, do you know what I mean? What you know what I mean? What is that? Tale as old as time, and his dick's going right, mate. And I'm going, this is fucking wild. It's wild. It's a great show, like, but it was. Do you know what's funny about that as well? Somebody I worked with knows Pamela Anderson, and was saying she was deeply hurt by that show. It's deeply hurt. It's brought back a lot of
Pammy.
hurt. A lot of hurt, and I'm like,
I don't like to hear that.
I'm like, are you making? I reckon you're probably making a wee bit of bunts somewhere, like a wee bit of coin.
But I'd say now at the minute now, sure, she's on just fucking Prosecco and fucking painkillers. I'd say,
and you know,
anything could set her off. A strong breeze and she'd be
allegedly.
upset.
Do you know what's funny?
I have no proof of that.
Do you know what's mental? Is
and I thought she was great in Baywatch.
This was she was great in Baywatch. Here's the bit where one of the many things in that show that I thought was weird was they have an argument in the show. The show makes the argument that the movie Barbed Wire, and I don't know if you remember that movie, where it's Pamela Anderson going like, "Don't call me babe," and she's like she has a gun, right?
Ooh,
and
I'm in.
And I know, right? And
yep.
a lot of people were in, and it was like, it was. That means two things, but also
the majority of planet Earth was in.
And it was this thing about like they make this argument in the show that the sex tape greatly harmed like the trajectory of that movie and her career, and I'm like, that film is dog shit. Like, I've seen it,
and the sex tape is excellent.
It's dog
it's
shit.
One of the best movies.
Do you know
I've
what I mean?
seen.
Like that. Don't. There's a real tendency now. There's a real tendency, I think, in these shows that are sort of historical dramas.
Yeah.
To like sand a few corners off to make it a wee bit more digestible to the people, especially like if it's living history. So like if the people are still alive. So like this one, like where they basically make out as if like, you know, if that sex tape hadn't come out, Barbed Wire could have been the next big thing. And you go,
yeah.
If Barbed Wire hadn't been fucking woeful, it could have been the next big thing.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
If the sex tape didn't come out, Barbed Wire was going to be, the next.
It probably would have actually been viewed less.
The English Patient.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
yeah,
it would have been viewed as.
It could have been
historically.
It could, you know, it's just I hate that.
It was going to be. It was going to be it would have been viewed like There Will Be Blood if it wasn't for the fact that she was shagging on camera.
Yeah, and then his dick talks to you, but also heroin. But also, what about what? See,
that booked the game though, right? I don't know if I've experienced a lad trying to implement that.
Right, okay.
In real
was
time.
Was it you though?
Huh?
Was it you though?
I was I was negging myself in the mirror. I was like, yeah, ugly cunt. And then I started wanking because it turned me on so much. Just negging myself. I was like, yes, smelly agricultural bastard. I was like, oh, Jesus. Like a sucky calf at myself. So no, I was in a bar and I was with an old one. And I used to do tour guiding in Dublin. So she's from Peru or some old place like that. Anyway, she was lovely looking. I ended up ruining it in the end. I think I don't know what I brought up. But anyway, this lad comes over.
I don't know what I brought up.
Yeah.
Your deep hatred of Incan culture.
Yeah. My kind of my beef with the Aztecs or whatever. I just think they were rude. So anyway, Yerwan. So I was there with Yerwan, and this lad comes over. There's something about Dublin wankers that they are the creme de la creme. Again, they could kind of swim in sting circles of, you know, real top level wanker, especially South Dublin people. I don't know if you've come across these people. But
I wouldn't know the differences. I thought North Dublin was the rich.
No, North Dublin's like, well, how are you going?
Where's Dublin 4?
That's the South.
Right, okay, I have come across.
And they are genuinely, it's like scientifically constructed the perfect wanker. They are absolute dog shit people. Almost, and now you think that's a broad generalization, but genuinely 9 out of 10 are just the pits. But so this fella comes over. I was sitting with Siobhan. He goes, he's like, you guys are a beautiful couple. He's like, you're absolutely beautiful couple. You look gorgeous. To be honest, he looks at her, and now she's like, I look like a melted welly compared to your one. Like, and he goes to one. He goes, to be honest, he's a bit out of your league. You know, I'd give him like a 9. I'd say you're like a 6. You know what I mean? But you know, and I'm a big fan of beauty. I'm a big fan of aesthetic beauty. And I just said, lads, I said it to him. I was like, I know you've read the game. Get out. Fuck off. Get out of here.
Yeah, this is a bar, not a book review. That's rare.
Yeah. Oh, but it was creepy.
I remember I had a few mates that definitely talked openly about peacocking though, as a thing. Like they're gonna wear something.
Just going out horrendous with a nappy and a mohawk.
Yeah, you're gonna
denying the Holocaust, and then women will like want to blow you.
You're gonna wearing something horrendous. Yeah. And then compliment her friends and slag her off. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking shite. Like, well, I mean, even if it vaguely works, you're basically just being a wanker. So maybe just be nice to people and hope it comes back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? It's just rotten little tricks. How are you going to feel good about yourself at night when you're just out tricking?
I love when people say nice guys finish last, and I'm like, yeah, but do you know what it takes? Do you know what it probably takes to be the guy who finishes first? Like, let's look at this as an Olympic sprint, right?
Yeah.
See, to be the fastest guy in the world, you've probably got to be a bit of a wanker. Like,
well, psychopaths.
Like you've got to be a wanker. You've got to just keep doing the same shit over and over again. You've got to be a wanker because somebody will say to you, "Here, mate, it's my birthday. Do you want to come out tonight? I'm your best mate. Yeah. Can't mate, I'll have to go running." Absolutely. So you've got to be a wanker to finish first. Whereas if you're nice, you go, I'll finish 8th in this race and I'll come to my mate's birthday.
But when you think about it, I heard this lady. You're going to learn a thing or two here now. Fran Lebowitz, did you ever come across her? I thought this was great. She said if she was asked, are successful people... Well, you're still sniggering about something else I said. And I'm about to say something profound, or I'm about to quote... It's not my idea, but she said that in general, she said regular people are better people than successful people. Because she says, in her opinion, like what she's seen, what it takes to become super successful is very unpleasant.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. That's why like I don't envy people who are successful particularly. Like, and I don't get, like, I think if you're having success like with work stuff, it's usually because you're putting a lot of time into it and you don't have time for other normal things.
That's right.
And then you can actually, like, so that's why whenever I think about, like, you know, people are like, oh, do you know what this person's earning as a bonus, or do you know what this person's earning? I'm going, if they're in a business that, see if it isn't public money, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I go, do you know why they're getting that? Because of competition. They're not getting it. They're not getting it because they're not putting the time in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas if it's politicians and shit, that's when I start my blood boils, because I'm like, oh right, you're getting it by shorting your own currency. You're getting it by fucking corrupt deals or whatever. That's when I crack up. But like, see when it's like, you know, footballers or something, people think, oh, footballers should be getting that. I'm like, they fill a stadium fucking 2 to 3 times a week. You don't think they should see any of that money? Fuck up.
Yeah.
Fuck up.
Yeah.
Immediately. Do you know what it probably took to get from, like, look at like, I mean, if you have a player like Gary Neville, who's like, will openly say himself nowhere near as talented as like most players that play for Man United.
That's right.
He worked his balls off. He didn't go drinking when he was a teenager. He didn't go out with his friends when he was in his 20s.
That's right.
He worked his bollocks off. Yeah. So is he allowed to reap some rewards when he's in his 40s? Aye.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Gaza's a good man. Fucking dead right.
Shall we FIFA?
Oh, FIFA. All right.
So what's your FIFA experience?
I played a bit when I was younger. Haven't played. I'd say I might not have played in 10 years.
Well, I haven't played this one apart from one time. I haven't got this one yet in the house.
So you'll probably have to walk me through it a little bit.
That's okay, yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Kylian Mbappe. Did you hear that Mbappe, Liverpool think they're getting Mbappe? Have you heard this? Because he wants out of PSG, but apparently they won't sell him. They won't sell him to. They won't sell him to Madrid. And now Liverpool think they're getting him. What is this? Oh, what is this? Bollocks. Can we not skip all this? Access main menu. There we go. I need to burp. So here, so you were doing Lavery's.
Oh yeah, I did Lavery last night now, and that was good. That was a good old laugh. Oh, tell me, what's that word that you said earlier for Catholic? Is it a
taig?
A taig.
Yeah, taigs.
Oh, taigs. Do you know what? Actually, and speaking of Dublin, I had actually an experience in Dublin once, right, which kind of relates to this a bit. So I was on Dublin bus, so the bus in Dublin, and I goes down to the back of the bus, and there was this old lad drinking harp, right, and I sat down across from him, and he just leaned over and he shook the can of harp at me. He's like, "Would you like a drop of harp?" Right, and I didn't have my earphones on me that day, so I was just like, "Ah, fuck it, go on." I was like, I don't know why I was in the mood for adventure. I was like, your man can be today's podcast, you know. So
yeah, I
goes over and I takes the dropped harp. Now this is pre-COVID, so it was all above board, you know, taking cans off at homeless lads.
Yeah.
But so anyway, okay, you're gonna have to really.
Yes, okay. So just go with
right.
I think if you hit that, hit A, yeah, just take that one.
I'll take that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then hit ready.
Yeah, this is gonna
put
going years in you now.
It's going well.
Have I done well so far?
Yeah, watch 1 second. So pass.
Yeah.
This is when you have the ball.
Yeah.
Pass, shoot.
Yeah.
Boot. Through ball.
Boot now.
Like a cross or like a boot.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then sprint.
Yeah.
When you don't have the ball, change your man.
Yeah.
Run.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's.
You're in trouble, mate.
Don't worry. I love it. I'll beat you quickly. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll be Wolfsburg. You can be anybody.
I'll just be Liverpool.
Right. Let's do it.
They're straight there.
Do you support them?
No. Do
you follow football?
I did. I was a big United fan up until 2014, and then something happened to me where I started. This sounds so wanky. This sounds like I should be fucking having a coffee with Sting, but I started meditating.
Right.
And as soon as I started meditating, I do that every day. I just let it go. It was odd.
No,
also, it's convenient because Fergie had left and we started being shite.
Yeah,
but I'm saying meditation.
Yeah, you've had a good 8 years, like, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike the rest of us. We'll just play the way it is with these teams because I can't be fucked even looking at
I can't be fucked either.
Sorry, I interrupted your story there.
Oh, anyway, I sits down with your man and I drinking the harp, and anyway, I immediately learned some interesting stuff about him. Like, it wasn't his first time drinking harp. He just kept telling me these things. He's like, "I've been drinking harp for 30 years." He's like, "Am I right or am I wrong?" And I was like, "You fucking look right, you know." Oh Jesus, here we go. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, you look right." Like, he looked like he'd been playing a harp with his face for 30 years. He looked fucking wrecked. So anyway, next thing he says to me, right?
That's fucking great.
Next thing he says to me, he goes, "You're a good young fella. Am I right or am I wrong?" And I was like, "By God, he's right again, you know."
Yeah.
I said, "This lad." I started to wonder, had he ever got one wrong? And so next thing he says to me, genuinely, he goes, "I have to tell you something." And I was like, "Oh Jesus, no. Don't tell me he's my real father or something." So I says, "What's that now?" And he said, "I am a member of the IRA."
Oh my God.
I swear to God, yeah. And sure, I didn't know what to fucking say or do. So I just gave him a fist bump. I was like, "Nice," you know. And good one. And then that gave him a bit of confidence. And he says to me, he goes, "Would you like to be a member of the IRA?" Sure, anyway, I was in for a penny and for a pound, as I go, go on. And that was it.
I love that this has gone from being a podcast to just being you confessing to being a
Well, that was it, because then I was on that was it. I was in the IRA, like, and felt very similar to not being in the IRA, if I'm honest about it. But anyway, then it turned out that my my first mission as a member of the IRA was to give your man a tenner for more cans of harp, and that was it. But that's my most sectarian story. Oh, come on, you cunt! What the hell?
Yeah, it's a goal.
Out you fuck off.
Who's that?
After the lads are sleeping at the wheel, they're all together.
I don't know any of these lads anymore.
I'm going to be made a fool of now. I'm
well, maybe. I'm
going to be laughing stock of Ulster.
When people don't play it that much, I tend not to go too hard on them. I try. See, when you're playing somebody who plays, that's when you have to up your game. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, it's like William Thompson or Aaron Butler or somebody like that.
You could literally leave and go to the Jacks, and you come back and you'd be 2 up. You know?
So here, have you much on there comedy wise at the minute? I know you were in Lavery's there.
So I was doing a little European tour there last week. So I'm friends with this fella. His name's Victor Petrashkin. He's kind of an old Romanian Marxist. He's a bit of a kind of a. There's a bit of, you know, well, sure, I suppose Romania. He grew up when he was born. It was communist, so he sets up these gigs around Europe, and he brings me along. So the two of us do them. And he's a marketing genius, and so the gigs do be packed.
Yeah.
So I was off there last week. I was in Luxembourg. I was in Brussels. I was in Antwerp. I was in Amsterdam, and I was staying actually in Amsterdam. I was staying in the red light district.
You love that.
Oh, it's nice because you can go around. Because you know, I wouldn't have any intention now of getting an L1. But you can go around in the windows, and then they'd be there, and they'd have their tongues out at you like they're catching flies, and they'd be, you know. And I was in the transgender red light district. I was right beside it, so they'd be fat out. They'd have the tits and the kiock flattened up against the window, you know. And you kind of pretend like you're going to take some money out, and they'd be jiggling everything. And it's a bit of crack now, but I wouldn't get one myself. I did years ago, and it was a torrid experience.
I don't know if I want. I don't know if. No Blasters is a family show.
Is it a family show?
No,
oh Jesus!
I'm joking.
Oh Jesus!
I don't know. I'm saying.
Yeah.
At a personal level, I want to know about your hard experience. But,
oh no!
But professionally,
it was just. Let me tell you now, Bertel. It was loveless. It was loveless. There was a loveless.
It was a business transaction.
Absolutely, I know that's what it is, but they're supposed to pretend. I thought was the whole fucking jig, but your one, sure, she had no acting in her. She was just like, she started saying, cough it up, as if my kiock had lungs. Rotten owl, hua. Anyway.
Cough it? Oh, I thought you were talking about money.
Sure, she wanted that too, the same one. She was after the whole kit and caboodle.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, rotten.
It's not for me.
Rotten talk.
I remember being on a.
I'd like to say hello to my mother.
Where was that? Where was that? Was that in Amsterdam?
That was in Amsterdam. Yeah. Now, that was yeah. That was years ago. I also that same
fucking score.
Come on, you dirty bastard!
Yes, keeps.
Jeez, I'm not so bad, am I?
It's not awful, no.
No. There you go now.
I think you're actually all right at this. I think if you vaguely played before.
Yeah,
you're usually alright.
There's a bit of muscle memory comes in, like I'm gonna hack the fuck out of you.
You tried as well.
No, so I was in Amsterdam, and that time, the first time I was in Amsterdam, that was that time. And sure, you were just in your head, you're young, and you're like, sure, jeez, I better do the Amsterdam things. So I also, I did a load of mushrooms and went to the zoo.
Jesus.
Yes, I went with. That
would be like my worst nightmare. Apart from I've never done drugs, and so. And you know what? Would freak me out. But then, see, being in a fucking zoo, I don't really like animals.
You're not a fan.
No.
Do you think they kind of bad intentions kind of thing?
I can't. Well, it's not even that. I just can't read them. I can't read their intentions. You know, way like.
Right. You'd look at a cow now and you'd be like, what are you up to?
Yeah.
Are you pro global warming or are you farting on purpose? Do you know?
I just don't like. You know the way like some people can look at a dog and read its language. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that sounds stupid, but like, you know, like Chloe could look at a dog and go, that dog's agitated, or that dog is fuck.
Oh my Jesus! How? Come on!
I'm not happy with that.
Now we're sucking diesel. Jesus, it was a lovely little finish too. Now
is that Darwin Núñez? Is that who it's meant to be?
Good lad.
Doesn't look anything like a cunt. Like,
but I tell you, when I went to the zoo now, and see, we had taken the mushrooms, and then we projectile vomited at the zoo, myself and my friend John. Like our head was going to burst apart.
Yeah.
That's how much it was. Like, I had to go into the Jacks to do it, and this Dutch lad had to come out to my friend John. He's like, your friend is dying. I was like, ugh. I can't suffer pain with any dignity. I'm very loud. Like, the other day, actually, I didn't realise I was in... I was staying with this one. This is it, but in the transgender red light district. But I was staying in the apartment, and I went up to the bathroom anyway. And these are people I didn't know, because the person that I was staying with, she had left the apartment, and I came down, and it was just this American one who was like working from her office, and I walked down from the bathroom, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
"You do a good accent, by the way.
Oh.
I have to give you praise for that.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Yeah. So she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm grand, yeah." And she's just like, "I thought you were dying." I was like, "What? What are you on about?" And she's like, "You were screaming." And I was like, why would I be? I don't know. And then in my head, because I am such a space cadet, I'm like rarely present. I'm like, could I be just screaming unconsciously like that? I'm just literally just standing there and I'm going, ah! Like I'm just absolutely, my goose is cooked, as Aaron McCann would say.
Yeah.
So I was like, am I just fucked? And then she was like, yeah, you're screaming. And there was this other guy where he's like, dude, you were screaming really hard. And I was like, I think to be a pair of ear nuts. And then I went out and I was walking downstairs. I was like, oh, I remember now. What happened was I went in under the shower and it was cold. And it was a cold shower and I just started screaming. I just started going, fucking ah. And then the water turned warm and I like really loudly was like, oh, that's lovely now. So I just sounded like I was having the most like violent wank where I was like, and then I was like, oh, that's lovely. But like I can't, even when I'm hungover now, I'm just like an old dying dog, you know. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I expect so much pity. Like I ring my mother.
When I'm sick, I expect pity.
Yeah.
I demand it. In fact,
I'd always call me mother, like,
yeah,
and just be like, I'm sick. Like there's nothing she can do about it. I just need her to know.
And I know that feeling. I
just need someone to give a shit.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Chloe was good to me whenever I was fucking sick the other week.
Was she?
Women
are great for the nurture.
I had to go off stage at a gig in Bangor and fucking book. And do it. Oh, you wee cunt.
During the gig?
During the gig, I had to run off, book, Aaron Butler ran back on while I was being sick, and then I came out and finished the gig.
I hope they appreciated.
They did. They fully did. They appreciated. Well, I don't want to compare myself to Dave Grohl breaking his leg and keeping going, but it was like that.
I think
it's like going. I don't want to compare myself to Jesus.
Michael Jordan had a flu game against Utah in '98. Famously, yeah, he had the flu, and he came out and was still
a baller. Like
he was still very good. Yeah. And he apparently was on the shitter half today, like. Just absolutely letting loose, shooting trees from the fucking
shooting trees.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, no, Jesus, I've no dignity. But sure, I don't know. I don't know about you now. I'd be wondering sometimes now about my own head.
You'd be wondering about it?
No, I'm gone. I make so many mistakes in life. It's unbelievable. I lose everything. Like I was at the airport the other day. First thing, I was in New York. I was out on the piss. Or I was in Chicago. I was flying to New York that day. Woke up, wallet gone. Lost the wallet. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah. I would hate that.
Yeah. Terrible. Like and you're just hanging as well. Like the compound, just hell stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, then I goes to the airport. I goes through the security check, and I put my bag through, like my carry-on luggage, and I just fucked off without the luggage. Just wandered.
Really?
Yeah. Only 45 minutes later, when I was at the gate, I was like, "Oh, where's my luggage?" I was like, I left it at the security check like an idiot. I went back and there was like this black lady who was like being really kind of like smug with me. She's like, "This yours?" She's like, you need to remember your luggage. I was like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
You know,
you're not wrong.
No way
Yeah.
You have to remember your stuff, do you? You should write a book. So anyway, like I did that, and then I went off after I got the bag. I went up, and I bought a yogurt for about 14 quid in JFK Airport as well. It'd have your heart broke. I remember actually as well when I got it, and I think people at the airport get this all the time. I bought the yogurt. He was like 14 quid, and I just goes, what? And he just goes, dude, he's like, I just work here. I don't make the prices.
Oh my God.
It's like, and I know, to be fair, I know it's the same people at the cinema have the same thing.
Yep.
When people are just constantly disgusted at them.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Don't you be there you go.
Mate,
go on, boy.
Allison has absolutely fucked me in this game.
Yeah.
He really has.
Yeah.
He's a big cunt. He's been outstanding.
He's been outstanding. There's no two ways about it.
I mean, this would be, he'd be getting headlines off.
He's been earning his keep.
Yeah.
But and anyway, so I goes up by his yogurt. About 2 minutes later, the guy from the stand is running after me with my phone. He's like, you left your phone there. I was trying to just lose everything in my life. Like but sometimes I wonder with my head, I'm like, because I'm not consciously doing on you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I tell my mother, and she's like, Mike, you need to focus. I was like, yeah, but if I remembered to do that, then I wouldn't be in this mess.
You wouldn't be on the call, yeah.
And it's your genetics that have given me this rotten owl head, you know. So where's your responsibility? Do you know what I mean?
What was the crack on the dairy farm growing up? Did you enjoy it?
I did. Now, when I say I did, I didn't. But it was.
Stop it!
Oh, come on! Come on, you juicy bastard, you. Oh.
I won't lie, like, if you were to fucking score now, I will be fucking rich.
Yeah, and your anger will only increase my happiness.
Everyone thought that was in.
Yeah.
He saved that when it was behind him, for fuck's sake.
It was a juicy little effort.
Was.
No, dairy farm's good, lad. Now, the thing is, like, so I was... So my father now, very old school man now. He's born in the 50s, but I would say he's more of a kind of War of Independence era person.
Right. Yeah, an old-fashioned version of himself.
Like. Absolutely. So he had a lot of old-fashioned ideas. Now, one of them was that we were born and bred to work on the farm. So, like, we were essentially born into a kind of a servitude of sorts.
Yeah.
So they expect us to work from about the age of 6. We're just working. You're working on the farm every day, and I felt very hard done by now. My old friends were
mental,
just, fucking, picking ladybirds off of leaves or whatever you were up to. I don't know, and we were there just covered in shite, slogging through the wet and the cold, and my father as well. So he believes in breeding. So he's kind of old-fashioned views of cows. Well, and humans. So he believes that if you are from a farm, you have to marry a woman that's also from land and a farm, or else the children will turn out wonky, like they'll have an ear on their forehead or something, or Chernobyl. And so he thinks to progress the line, and that's all he's interested in, is to keep the land in the family. You need to breed right? So you need to get an old one from land, and then the children will come out right. And but he didn't realize he'd have to have any input in raising us, so he just thought we'd come out welding, you know.
Out welding?
Yeah. We'd drive out of our mother on a tractor. So, so he was continually baffled that we just didn't inherently, like, know the names of tools and stuff, you know. So he was just constantly fucking, you're useless. Someone like 6, and he'd be sending us, he'd be like, go get an Allen key from the tool shed. We wouldn't know what that is. You'd be like, what's an Allen key? Go get it. You know, and you'd be off just full of anxiety, wandering off to this fucking tool shed, not as Scooby as to what you're looking for. And you come back with a shovel, and then you're useless. So anyway, he was eternally disappointed in a lot of us. There was 4 of us, 4 lads, 4 boys, which he was happy about now, because he would have seen having a daughter as a disaster. He had very kind of Chinese attitude in that regard. Do you know what I mean? Like, he would have just thought you'd maybe drown him to hell. He would often talk about our neighbour. We have a neighbour, Ned Kelly is his name. And
Ned Kelly?
Yeah. Australian fella. And
big tin suit.
Yeah. Had a sweet tooth for crime. But so So anyway, he talked about Ned, and he said Ned had 4 daughters, and my father would often talk about complete and utter fucking disaster.
Really?
Yeah, 4 daughters. He said, sure, look, some people just get an awful lot in life. And so he had the 4 sons. So, but then it turned out that sure most of us were useless. But luckily, anyway, my younger brother James decided to take the farm.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't even so much that he loved farming; he just loved control. James, he's a power-hungry little fella.
He loves control.
Yes. There's a bit of kind of Kim Jong-un
vibe.
Yeah. No, honestly, now when he was younger, he was obsessed with keys. So he would always have the keys to everything in our house. Like he'd have keys to the shed, to the front door, back door. This is now at 7 years of age.
Yeah.
He'd be going in getting keys cut, and he would kind of use the keys then as a kind of a vehicle for power and to enforce power. So for instance, one time I woke up and tried to get out of my bedroom, and the door was locked, and I was on the other side of the door, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?" So I shouts to him anyway, and I says to him, I says, what's the door's locked? What the fuck? And he's on the other side of the door. He's like, "You shouldn't have eaten all that chocolate, Mike. That was supposed to be divvied up equally." You know, he'd use it for like kind of to further his agenda. And so anyway, one time it kind of came to a head because he what he did was so he also had this kind of like really deep sense of his own human rights. So he'd be like eternally like, if my mother had put just a hand on his shoulder, "You have no right to fucking touch me." Yeah. You know, and he was constantly like trying to call Childline and threatening to ring the guards, and you know what I mean? Like just this absolute, you know, like I said now, quite an authoritarian little fella. So anyway, one day,
is he still like this?
No. He's been to institutions that have kind of sorted him out. But so one day anyway, my mother took his phone. Now he's about 10 or 11 at this stage, and he saw this now as an absolutely unacceptable act of kind of oppression.
Yeah.
And so what does he do? See, he has you know, the scope to fight back. So what he did was, the next morning after she took his phone to like kind of punish him, my father gets up and goes down the stairs to go out. This is about 7 in the morning. Goes out to go out the door to milk the cows, and he goes to go out the door. The back door is locked. Anyway, comes back into the kitchen. He was like, "What in the world?" James is waiting in the kitchen.
Sorry, somehow this is going to penalties.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Somehow. I have 25 shots.
Yeah, but I made sure they were difficult shots, and I defended. I put them in hard positions.
You keeper. Go ahead, sorry.
But so anyway, he comes back into the kitchen. James is waiting in the kitchen, and he says, "I want my fucking phone." Now, what he had done is he had locked all the doors of the house. Now, what we'd find out later, he had also taken the keys of all the vehicles, and he had also, in a kind of a sick twist, had locked the toilets. So next thing, my parents woke up now. My mother has to go to work. She's a nurse. My father has to go to milk the cows, and they're just screaming at him, right? But he's in the chair. He's like, "I will not tolerate the treatment of it." So they're just fucking screaming at him, like, "To give back the keys, we have to go to work, you stupid little fucker," right? And he, you know, he's a little mad dog. So they just end up having to give him back the fucking phone, because they have to go to work and everything. And sure, he thinks in his head, he gets back to the phone, he's like, "Thank you, I wonder," you know, and sure, as soon as they get the keys anyway, sure, they're just, you know,
that's
fucking
mental.
slapping the shite out of him. But he was he was a mad little man. Anyway, he's working on the farm now. Great at piano as well. Very good piano player. So what are we doing here?
Controlling the keys.
Huh? Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
100%.
Go ahead, press A.
Oh, there
We'll
we
get
go.
into this.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, which one? Which?
I don't know how to hit the penalty. Oh, yeah, you hit B and use this to direct it, but
And which one to direct?
this.
Oh, this one.
But
Grand.
I don't know what's going on here.
No bother.
And to save, you hit X and the direction. Oh, here. He's missed this. Can't.
Yeah.
I didn't even hit anything there. I just ran out of time.
So now,
I actually don't know too much
is
about
it B
hitting
to
these.
hit it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
But I don't know too much about this on this version of FIFA.
For fuck's sake!
Is it that way?
Would you? Did you ever hear of diving, Alison? Jeez, he wouldn't work to warm himself. The same lad. Come on now. So all right, okay. I'd say that's going Rosehead. Yeah. Good man,
Sorry, by the
Salah.
way, I meant to say use this to dive. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Sorry.
Oh, you're sorry, are you? Yeah. Jeez, you're a cute whore, Bartlett. There are no flies on you,
Well,
and if
wasn't
there was,
bad.
they're
I
playing
wasn't bad
around.
now from the boy, like.
Huh?
I know. I think he can still hit X and he does it, but that's like FIFA 98. I told you the controls for there. That's away as well.
There we go.
Again, see the wee pulse that's happening. I think you want to try and hit B in whenever it's green.
When it's green.
Yeah.
All right.
Or when it's not even there.
It's a sad into a great. Go on, boy! That is some
They're
save.
fucking me with these new penalties.
Yeah. So tell me now again. Now, what do I?
So see that when that's coming in, you want it to be like green or yellow when you hit it, you know,
Right. So.
and then pick a direction.
Oh, so am I holding B down?
Just a wee bit, just for a second.
Oh, okay.
It's probably not bad.
Yeah. Come on!
Wasn't bad.
Huh? What about that now?
If I score this, so you're fucked.
Would you go away? How about that? Did you like that one?
I didn't.
Did
I didn't fucking like it. No, I didn't. I actually can't believe I'm still fucking playing this.
Jesus, I've done well now.
You have done well.
Yeah.
Save this, you can't.
Yes! Oh, you useless old devil!
Mate, for someone that doesn't play, like,
Yeah.
you've put in a performance there.
I
Have
think
you enjoyed this, Michael?
I did enjoy that a lot now. That
It was good
fun.
times. I was a laugh, mate.
that
Thanks,
was a good
Michael,
laugh.
for coming on. Anything you want to plug before you go?
Ah, jeez, I wish I did. I'm so useless. Follow me on Instagram at Mike Rice Comedy. See, I'm going to be starting a podcast now in the next few months.
Right.
But sure, look, keep an eye out on that. It'll be
Yes.
on my Instagram.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming on. Good to have you.
That was lovely.
Thanks for joining us on this episode. As always, the king wins. Oh, no.